As we continue here on Big Ten Media Day, it's time to focus in on the Indiana Hoosiers. Darian DeVries replacing Michael Woodson after spending 1 year at West Virginia. He's the new head coach, and he had to overhaul this roster because every single player with eligibility left entered the portal. So you've got 15 newcomers, 10 transfers, 5 freshmen. It is a really highly thought of transfer class that includes his son Tucker, who came with him from West Virginia. And Darian DeVries is with us now. Coach, welcome to the Big Ten. I know you grew up in Big Ten country. Great to have you here. One thing that has stood out to me in kind of getting a sense of what you've been doing here since you got to Bloomington is you've really made an effort, it seems like, to connect with the students and connect with the fan base. You guys had a Hoosier Hysteria type event in the streets of Bloomington. So give me a sense of why that was such a priority for you to go about it that way.
Yeah, we just think, having a home court advantage is a huge deal in every league, but especially this league. And we want our students to feel like they're a part of our journey together. And, they know they have an impact on games. And then we want them to know that and feel that. And we want them to get to know our guys, too. You know, we have a great group of guys. We want them to be able to interact on something that's more than just watching them on the game floor. So it's been fun to get to know a lot of the students and things and do events like that.
Aside from filling out a roster, which, as we noted, there was no small feat, what were your biggest priorities as you took over this job? What did you look at and say, this is what we need to get done?
Yeah, as you mentioned, got to get a staff, and then you got to get a team assembled. And when you start with zero, there's a lot of work to do. So, I wouldn't say there's just a couple of weeks there where it's like it just takes a while to get it going and get the first guy signed or the second guy, and it's a long ways to get up to the 15. So, but that process, took what it took, and then once you get them there in June, now it's time to go to work, and we're excited about the way the group shaped up.
Transition. You talked about you got to get a roster, but for you as a coach, you went at Drake, now you're at West Virginia, now you're in Bloomington. How was that? Not only you, your family, everybody, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, I think that's what people don't really realize is like what an impact it has on your family. You have to, get them out of schools and find a new school and find a house and find living and those type of things. And just the move itself is a lot. So there's a lot that goes into that. But again, now it's settled down and we got some normalcy and away we go.
And the fans, they don't care about you moving and all that. They just want you to get players, which you did. How is it to coach your son? The challenges, it's got to be unbelievable. The success he had at Drake, even last year, the start of the season. But the ups and downs of it, coaching him, the challenge to have him in the locker room.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed it, and I got the opportunity with Greg and Doug McDermott to kind of see it in a different perspective, but then to be able to coach your own son now and be able to learn from some of those things and see what a great time they had doing it. It was also easy when Doug was scoring about 30 every night. So that makes everything a little smoother. But I think a lot of it goes too to I saw it with Doug. He had great teammates, and Tucker's had great teammates along the way too that have made it a lot easier in utilize or being able to deal with that dynamic.
One of the challenges, clearly, building chemistry with this team. I know you took a trip to Puerto Rico. What did you learn about your team in Puerto Rico?
I learned we're not very good at kayaking. I know that.
Tell me about that. What was the story there?
Well, we took a trip out kayaking, and I had Tate and Conaway with me and stuff. I don't think we're a good kayaking team. Yeah, I think we finished last as we were trying to. We just ended up just turning around, I believe. So, but we had a great time. It was a great trip, as you said. When you got a lot of new guys, new staff, new players, to get that time together, it's so valuable. And then to get to play 3 games on top of it was awesome for us.
I did that every time I made a change. When I went to SIU, I did the trip because it's so important because that camaraderie, all that stuff, getting to know you. But the leadership, too. Who is your leader? Who's kind of evolved with that?
Yeah, I think just naturally Tucker and Lamar. But, Tucker especially just because he understands everything we're trying to do. So it's a lot easier for him to just be in that role right off the bat because everybody coming in is looking to him like, what's this drill? What's this verbiage and things? What does coach want from it? And it's easy for him to kind of relay that message from a player perspective. But I think I've always been a guy that just we don't do captains and things like that. I always let leadership kind of just evolve on its own. And we have a lot of guys. We have several seniors on this team, and the leadership all comes in different ways. Some of it's by how hard they play. Some of it's by, the words they say. So there's a lot of different ways that leadership takes place. The good part is this group has really embraced one another and has come along from a culture and just an identity standpoint. They're doing a really good job with that.
Tell me about identity. What do you want the identity of this team to be?
Yeah, we want our identity to be a group that comes out every day and plays extremely hard, plays tough and physical and disciplined, but also plays the game with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. And then, from a defensive standpoint, we want to be the aggressor, and then also from the offensive standpoint, we want to be the aggressor. We want to play in transition. We want to be in attack mode. We want to give our guys a lot of freedom just to go make plays and trust their instincts.
Have you heard there's a little rivalry in that state? There's a school up the road that I was at for 18 years, and some of my greatest memories are the Purdue-Indiana games. I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, tremendous rivalries all across the country, but one of maybe the best ones in all of college basketball is Purdue and Indiana, and I've heard a little bit about the rivalry game.
The fans make sure you know about
it.
The
fans on both sides, I think, make sure that everybody understands that you need to try to win that game.
Just overall, what's your message to the Indiana fan base?
I think the overall message is, let's do this together. Let's really, rally around each other and enjoy this journey together. And just know that, hey, we're going to do everything we can and put in the work to put ourselves in position to be successful for a long time.
We know how high the expectations are in Bloomington. I know you're embracing that. We really can't wait to see this first iteration of the Hoosiers. Coach, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So that is Darian DeVries, and here is the schedule ahead for him and some challenging games in the non-conference. Marquette, Louisville. The renewal of the Kentucky rivalry is going to be absolutely fabulous. A 4-game series that those two schools are going to play. It starts at Kentucky on December 13th, and then you see conference play, including some marquee road contests at Maryland, Michigan State, and Michigan. And then there are the 2 Purdue games, January 27th. That one will be in Bloomington, and February 20th will be in West Lafayette, Andy.
Well, thank you, Dave. We are now joined by Darren's son, Tucker DeVries, and Lamar Wilkerson. I want to play off of that schedule because you guys are coming in at the right time where these rivalries are being renewed, historic rivalries between Indiana and Louisville, Indiana and Kentucky. Playing for Indiana, it's one of those schools that when you wear Indiana on the front of your chest, it means something. You guys are just sort of barely there in the infancy of your careers. I'll start with you, Tucker. What does it mean to you to play at Indiana?
Yeah, I think it's really special. I think you walk into Assembly Hall and you look up at the walls, the tradition, and you're overwhelmed with just the history of everything. And you have Indiana across the chest, and you're representing a lot more than just the team. You're representing the state, the fan base, and everything that's comes with that. And I think this group's super excited to represent that, and hopefully trying to make a fan base very proud.
Just to piggyback off what he said, it's a special place, man. Like, there's no other feeling than walking Assembly Hall. Like, you just feel the history there, like, as soon as you walk in. So, for us to, get back to what we're trying to do as far as Indiana basketball, man, it's gonna be a good time.
And Lamar, I heard you say recently you're a country boy.
Yeah.
You had 70 people in your high school graduating class.
Yeah.
And now you're playing for Indiana. You averaged over 20 points a game last season, close to 50% from the field. Why coach? Why did you come to Bloomington? You could have went anywhere in the country. Why be a Hoosier?
Man, for me, it was just the fact that I wanted to, play in front of that big crowd. Like, growing up, that was always my dream, to play in front of sold-out arenas day in, day out. At Big Ten, everywhere you go, it's always sold out. There's always the big crowds and stuff like that. So I just felt like I just wanted to play at the highest level, and I feel like Big Ten is one of them.
And for you, Tucker, coming in off of an injury, didn't play last season, didn't play the full season. How you feeling right now coming into this year? How's your body? Where are you at in this offseason?
Yeah, it feels great to have an off season to prepare myself for the final year of my college career, and to be able to do it with this group of guys has been awesome, and all coming in new as one, and including the staff, and just really working towards one goal of trying to win as many games as possible this season, and get a lot of momentum going for Indiana.
One thing that, and I know every team's different, and the roster's a completely different team with a staff, but one thing Indiana fans will remember, that closing out games was a bit of an issue in the past. It's an entirely new group, but in the short time when you guys were together in Puerto Rico, in practice, what have you learned about sort of the moxie of this group, of when things get tight, when it's down to last possessions, even in practice or games you played in Puerto Rico, that you think this team can close it out? Start with you, Lamar.
Like you said, just, end of the game, just closing out. We do a lot of situational stuff in practice like that to get us ready for moments like that. As you said, when we went to Puerto Rico, we was down a lot, and then we had to fight back. So that just shows adversity, and then Coach DeVries just makes it, tells us, like, we're strong with numbers, so when fatigue is on, that's when we got to play our best.
Yeah, I think it's a total group effort to win a basketball game, and I think it's important to have to go through adversity a little bit together to build that chemistry. And I thought Puerto Rico was a good step in that direction of, we faced a little bit of adversity and then having to overcome it. And it, you learn a lot about yourself, the team in those situations. And I think for us, it's just something when you're going through fatigue or into games and those difficult situations, it's really important to, be one, be a team and play off each other and play together. And I think, hopefully that's what can get us over the hump in a lot of those close games.
Well, we all know when you put on that Hoosier jersey, when you play in Assembly Hall, the expectations are high. They don't care about winning the Big Ten. They don't care about winning the Big Ten tournament. They want Final Fours. They want championships. Is that something that you guys have talked to each other amongst yourselves as players? Or do you embrace those expectations? How have you guys seen it?
I think the only way to do it is to embrace those expectations. I mean, you play this game, you go through the whole offseason, to try and be the best, to win championships. I think for us, it's every day we got to continue to be better and embrace the process. And, as long as we're, continue to get better, and towards the end of the year, you're playing your best basketball, that's where those runs can come, and that's where the tournament success can, be made.
Lamar, scores are scores, shooters are shooters. I don't care what level. And we've seen this where players have moved up conferences or even divisions. What is it about your game that will translate from a Conference USA to a Big Ten?
Just, the enthusiasm I play with, the dog, being an energetic guy on the team, man. And then, I can shoot the ball a little bit, so, hopefully that translates.